said so long, carry on, 'cause the devil wants to take me for a ride.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, or whatever the fuck it is for you, wherever you find yourself. It's afternoon for me. I'm going to start off by saying my apologies for the sound quality of this episode. I don't have my gear with me. I know there's an echo here, but I had to record it in this room. Otherwise, you're going to hear a bunch of sounds of a South American city. Because, interesting fact, in places where it's kind of crazy how houses are built in places where you're never worried about it getting below freezing. There are parts of houses and apartments in equatorial places that are just open. They're just permanently open. They don't have, like, they're just like, it's like, oh, what is that? And you're like, that's a fucking just hole in the wall. Not like a hole, but like a vent. It's just a vent in the wall that goes outside. Does it close? Nope. Sometimes you'll walk by a restaurant and it's just straight open. And it's never enclosed because it's just hot or it rains. So you just kind of get used to the fact that the city sounds are going to be pouring in from everywhere. And there's nothing you can really do about it. Other than fucking try and take out these sounds of life and post edit. Anyway, I wanted to record this podcast, and I normally don't record when I'm traveling, but this kind of has been sitting in my fucking head. So I said, what the hell? I'm going to record this one. I guess I'm going to go back to kind of my roots, answering some questions, but also talking about improvement, get your act together. I know I went off kind of the rails talking about current events and abortion on the last one. Let me just start off by, I'm watching this show, and I don't know how I should feel about myself by watching it. I'm watching a show on Netflix, and it's a dating show. All right, my brother got me into it, and I never watched reality dating shows. I think they're absolute fucking trash. But there's a show. I did back in the day when I was a kid. I did watch Flavor of Love, and I watched some of I Love New York, like the real trash ones. I watched those two, and then I did watch. I remember with my dad, like as a family, we watched Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire. God, I'm dating myself. That feels so long ago. It was a show where they got a bunch of fucking whores, and they told them that the guy they were going to marry his name was Joe. He was average Joe millionaire. In reality, he was just some goof who worked construction. He was a handsome fella, but it was on like ABC, NBC, and all these fucking sluts are trying to all these gold digging hoes are trying to get in his pants so they can, get his money. And he, at the very end, he goes to the woman he picks. He goes, "Hey, I'm not really a millionaire." And it came down to two chicks, and one of them was actually like a decent, classy woman, and the other one, in the near the final episode, sucks his cock, like literally, like she takes him in the bushes, and I can't believe they kept the cameras rolling. You can just hear them, and then later on, she tells one of the other girls, she mimics like the thing you do when you're a kid, where she like is stroking her hand like it's stroking a dick and puts her tongue in her cheek like she's gagging on dick. So we all know she sucked the dude's dick. And then he ended up picking her, right? Because she sucked his dick. That's how, ladies, you suck a dick, you will get picked by the millionaire. You fucking... And then he goes, "I'm not really a millionaire." And you just, the look, I gotta Google this. I hope it's on YouTube. The look on her face when she realizes that she just sucked regular poor dick With that the whole world knows you just sucked regular dick. Not millionaire dick, but just regular dick. Not that dick changes when it gets money. It doesn't. Okay? How you view a man will change, but the dick is still a dick. All right? Oftentimes it's worse. Way worse. Anyway, so I have watched reality dating shows, and I'm watching this one, and it's just say it, Mike. It's called Love on the Spectrum. It's a fucking dating show for fucking people with autism. All right, some of them have Asperger's, and me and my brother is sitting there. He's smoking weed, and we're just eating chocolate, and we're watching these fucking autistic people go on dates, and it's so fucked up. Like it is, dude, because it's like this dude, someone went into a Hollywood boardroom and was like, hey, I got an idea. And they go, yeah, and he goes, what if we just grab some brutally so deep in the spectrum there in Narnia, autistic and slow and Asperger's motherfuckers, and we make them date each other. And then we videotape it. And then we show the world. And we put them in these weird scenarios on blind dates. And we're going to pick a really fucked up one and put them with one we know is going to get even more fucked up. Oh, dude, I watched like 3 episodes. Oh, God. And you know what's funny is I know women watch this. So women, if you watch that show, you're a horrible person. Like they pretend like you're watching it to feel better, but in reality, you just like, no. You watch it because you go, well, I guess there's someone who's worse at dating than I am. And in reality, they're not even worse at dating. In reality, a lot of them are pretty good. A lot of them are better than me. And oh my God, there's this one dude from the Boston area who's got Asperger's, and he brings a girl to King Richard's Fair, which is a medieval fair. There's this chick who's got she's got autism, but she's high functioning, right? So she runs an art business, and she meets a guy, and I really like this guy, and she right away is like, I love you. Like, I just love you. And she wants to make out with him, and they start kissing and hugging, and it's very awkward. It is fucking, and she's all over his nuts, and she goes like, I'm in love. And then, you know, she finds out that he still lives with his parents. He's got fucking autism, you know, young guy with autism. And he's talking to him, and he's very spiritual, and he keeps talking about the law of attraction. He's obsessed with the law of attraction and spirituality. And I go, this guy's like a fucking autistic me. I love that stuff. I must have autism. And this fucking bitch just goes all over him for 2 dates and then realizes that he's not making a ton of money. She's like, what are your career aspects? And I wish the guy was just like, lady, I got fucking autism. What do you expect? My mom picked out my shirt for the fucking date. And she at the beginning of the next episode, she dumps him. And he goes, and like he said all this stuff a guy would, just any regular guy would say. He's like, you let me on. He wanted to call her a bitch so bad. I know he did, but he didn't. She's like, let's just be friends. I don't think it's going to work out. She was so just methodical, like robotic about it. He's like, why'd you do all that stuff? You used me. And I was like, dude, I feel you, man. I hope you piped it down to at least and rubbed it in her face. And this one's rough. Okay, there is an Indian guy, and he is as autistic as a guy can be autistic. He is so autistic that they don't set him up on a date with another autistic girl. They set him up on a date with a girl who has Down syndrome. I'm sorry. I know I'm going to hell. I'm fucked up. And you gotta watch it. Me and my brother are dying because the shit they're saying is so, like, the Indian guy's there with his mom, and like his family loves him, and he's like, he's gonna start dating. He just has his 30th birthday. He goes, I don't want to date an Indian girl. And I was like, that's the most Indian thing an Indian guy has ever said. I don't know why Indian dudes don't give Indian women love when there's so many beautiful Indian women. I don't get it. I don't know. They all obsess over white girls. I don't know, whatever. I don't get it, but that's just me. Anyway, and there was this other girl who was actually kind of cute. I mean, hey, she was autistic. She didn't have Down syndrome, so I can call her cute and it not be creepy. Anyway, she goes and like that. Her date with the other guy was fun. They just talked about their favorite zoo animals. But here's the thing that keeps happening on the dates is the guys will take the girls out. And actually the dude from Boston, I think he was from Newton, his dad said something that I thought was really great. And he goes, he's at the Asperger's kid. He's asking his dad, he goes, should I pay for the dinner? And he goes, yes, you should pay. He's old school. This guy's old school. I like him. He talks to him. He goes, you should pay for it. All right? Now, and he's like, okay. And he goes, but what if it's expensive? And the dad goes, it's just money, Trevor. And I was like, at first I was like, fuck you, it's just money. Money's everything. It's how you live. It's how you survive. It's food. But the way he said it, it's like a guy who's financially comfortable, but also he's like, it's just money. And I was like, it is just money. It is just paper. You know, like, how many times have I been in a situation where I was a cheap prick, because I felt like I had to hoard this thing. Right? Like, not being stupid, like, I'm going to buy an $800 jacket. But, you know, like, I don't know, like, being in a situation where I'm looking at hotel rooms, and if I pay $5 more, I won't have to share a bathroom with everyone on the floor. I can get a room with a private one. I get a hostel, and I being the cheap fucking cunt that I am, I'm like, no, I'm going to save $2. And it's just like, Mike, you fucking suck. Like, what are you... And I was like, yeah, dude, it is just money. But also, poor guy took her out to eat at a fancy restaurant in Boston's financial district. So no, it's not just money. It's like a fucking $120 meal. Get the fuck. You could rent a house. You could rent a palace in Colombia for a weekend for that. Get the fuck out of here. Like, there were multiple times where the guys take the girls on the dates and they get to a moment where the guy asks them, and it is as awkward with autistic people as it is with fucking regular people. Where the boy goes, and they all do this. They go, do you want to split the check? And the girl's like, well, I could. We can. And he goes, meh. And then, like, there's an awkward moment, and you can feel that someone was like, fucking pay for it. They all told to pay for it. You know, and like, the guy would be like, okay. What you could tell, like, even like the autistic Indian dude, somebody whispered something to him, because the last minute he goes, okay, I pay for it. And the fucking Asperger's dude, he goes, what does he say, motherfucker? He goes, okay, I'll pay for it. He's so reluctant, and he's looking at the bill, and he goes, what is this charge right here? This is a restaurant charge? Like, and I'm like, and the waitress kind of goes, and the woman, the girl and his date goes, it's not that big a deal. He goes, meh. You know, I'm just curious. You know, I'm curious. And then the waitress comes over and goes, hey, what's this restaurant charge? I was like, dude, I would do the same fucking thing, even on a date. And she goes, well, that's for the kitchen staff, because normally when you tip, it only goes to the front of the house. So this guarantees a tip for the back of the house. And I would have been like, bitch, how about you split the tip I give you with the back of the house? You bitch. You can tell that this kid, he wants so bad to say, I'm not fucking paying for it. Anyway, it's a great show. And the reason it is great, despite the fact that it is hilarious watching them act the way they do, is that they're honest. They're honest fucking people. But whatever reason, having their fucking, their disabilities, it makes them real. And it makes them honest. So when they go on their dates, they're not, quote unquote, regular, normal people who, like, every fucking hipster or yuppie or whatever person you meet in, like, from Portland, Maine to Boston, Mass to Charleston, South Carolina to LA to Seattle, puts on a character of what they think a human being is. And these guys they're just themselves. And that's the wholesome thing that I'm going to tell myself to justify the fact that I'm watching a show with and laughing at what's happening. It is funny. It's both, okay? It can be fucked up and good at the same time. Whatever. Anyway. What am I gonna jump to? Am I gonna jump to? I guess I got a couple things. Okay, question. I'm gonna do a question, and I'll get into the other stuff. Someone asked me, would I raise a boy and a girl differently if I had kids? This is a listener question. Absolutely. Like abso-fucking-lutely. Okay. If I have a daughter, I'm obviously gonna take care of her. Right, I'm gonna love her. I'm gonna show compassion when she comes home. I'm gonna feed her. If I have a son, I'm gonna hand him an axe and I'm gonna put him in the woods. I'm gonna say, "You're on your own for the next weekend. Fucking don't die." And I'm gonna turn him into a fucking man. I'm gonna do this when he's 6, so he gets fucking hard, so he's not a bitch and a liberal pussy. I'm just fucking kidding you. Oh man, I told my lady friend that last night, and she didn't get the joke. She was very perturbed, and like when sometimes I do stuff. She goes, "You're being weird." She does that. Like I'm gonna stop, and I'm like, "Fucking deal with my weirdness." Anyway, yeah, I would raise them differently. Like I'm gonna require that they both like talk to me. I'm gonna be raw emotionally with them. That way they can feel comfortable enough to be emotionally open with me. And I'm gonna guide them and talk with them and have total honesty with them. As much as I possibly can as, a father. But at the same time, as a father, you can't really fully be a kid's friends. It's a tough fucking go. But yeah, like you don't raise boys and girls the same way. You kind of just got to expect more accountability out of a boy and teach him that, because society expects more accountability out of a man than it does out of a woman. I think it's important to teach a daughter that, because if you don't, she winds up being one of them spoiled brat bitches that everyone hates. So you gotta give her some. You gotta do it, but you gotta. Like, I don't know, I'm naturally going to be a little softer on the girl. I'm going to be more restrictive with her, I'm not going to give my son a high five because he comes home at 16 and crushes some pussy. Because I spoke with this girl from Bain, and a friend of mine's cousin, and she was talking about how like she did she went on a date and her dad flipped out, but like when her brother, who's a year older than her, when he was in high school, her dad would give him the truck knowing that he was driving it drunk to parties and fucking girls in the truck. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna high five him. I'm gonna be like, hey, be fucking smart, whatever. But I'm not gonna be I accept the fact that daughter's gonna get laid at some point, but I'm not gonna she's not gonna dress like a whore. I will fucking I will be that dad who, if my daughter comes downstairs as a little girl with makeup on, God, dude, if I ever if it's Christmas and someone gave my 7-year-old daughter makeup, I'm gonna turn to whoever. I'm gonna be like, why does my daughter look like a fucking prostitute? What is going on here? I will. It's a good range, but yeah, you gotta obviously you raise them differently. It's not crazy different, but they're different. Give them different toys. You do treat them different. Do you treat your guy friends and your girlfriends the same way? Nah, even when I have a lady friend, there's a certain, I allocate a certain softness to them that I there's an extra harshness we have for each other as men that you just can never give 100% to a woman. But I think that the big mistake is guys don't ever give it to women, and then they complain that women don't have accountability because they don't ever fucking demand it out of them. So yeah, no, definitely raising them. Early on, I was on my friend's house and his daughter was circling stuff she wanted in a catalog, like a toy catalog, and she was just circling all the girl stuff. She goes, I don't want boy stuff. And I go, this is so relieving that this still exists in the world. I am so happy to see this. And it was beautiful, man. Like, yeah, but as far as when they're early on, like, yeah, if my daughter asks to do stuff with me that, like, you know, like if my go fishing, I'll take her fishing. You know, I also think it's very important that she spend time with her mom. You know, I think gender roles are huge. So obviously like, I'm gonna be like, you gotta. There are certain life lessons that I'm gonna fucking like drill into my son that I will teach my daughter, but I won't drill into him the same way. If that makes sense to you, like there are certain rules of being a man that a boy has to learn from a man. That only like an uncle and a father can. That time you spend as like a young boy with your uncles and your dad, and like it's so fundamental to figuring out how to be a man. And the same is said for a girl with her mother, right? Just how to be a woman. Like I don't want my daughter burping and farting like I do, right? Like she doesn't. Like there's this meme where there's this country girl meme where it's like, you know, it shows I was raised by my daddy, so I know how to change my oil, and I can go mudding, and I take big fat fucking shits, and I don't even wipe my ass. I just put on my Daisy Dukes, just walk around with shit stains. I can fucking shotgun. I can funnel 12 Budweisers all at once. Black out and piss my pants. Go home, beat my fucking husband. Yeehaw! And you're just like, that's like, this isn't, that, no one wants that. No one fucking wants that, lady. Chill the fuck out with that shit. Like, teach a daughter how to survive, but like, there's a, like, teach her, you know what you have to teach a daughter? How to pick a decent man. All right, how to not be so obsessed with being 100% completely reliable that you have to teach her how to live on her own, that she can exist as an independent, like as a woman, she can just survive without needing a boyfriend all the time, right? But also, you have to teach her like how not to date douchebags, how not to be in a position where she's so dependent on men that she stays with losers. But at the same time, how to pick a man who's like, you know, going to provide for her and take care of her, you know, and do that right thing without her, you know, turning into a man herself. You know, I'm a fucking, I know how to peg my husband and call him a fag. Anyway, I hope that answers your question. And yeah, like you gotta, I don't know if you can. It's tough as a dad to teach your son how to pick a woman. Because we all, as guys, we go through that phase where we fuck the crazy ones. I guess he's gonna fucking like watch how as much as it creeps us out, watching how our opposite gender parents interact is what we'll come to expect out of the opposite gender as an adult. It is, man. It is like, so if you ever, ladies, you ever met a guy whose mother did literally everything for him? It happens a lot with Arabs and Italians. Their mothers literally like don't even let them wipe their own asses. And so you end up dating a guy like that, and he can't put on his shoes, or like, God forbid, he you know, there isn't, like, I'm all for like a lady cooking traditional stuff, but if he can't feed himself if you're not home, that type of shit, yeah. That's an end result of him fucking expecting a mom, you know, what he got out of his mom, you know. So anyway, I'm gonna jump to this next thing, mental fucking health. All right, here we go. I'm just gonna fucking. This is gonna. So when I travel, I have this period where I'm kind of fucked up for a couple of days, where I go through a detox, and it's also a physical one, because when you, like, even though the food where I'm at is much better, there's way less, there's no corn syrup, there's no additives, there's no fake shit in it, it's real food. I have like 2 days of being severely bloated, of just feeling like I'm gonna explode, and it's just my gut fauna trying to figure out how to eat real food again. And even I had a buddy in the military who told me when he would go to Afghanistan and come home, he would, like, his bowels would be fucked up from changing food. Even the food on his military base was made differently. So I go through a physical detox, but I also go through like a mental detox where I'm kind of getting out of the rat race and that permanent state of anxiety that I'm used to with, especially if I'm working too much in the city back home. And it's kind of baffling to me how intense that can be. And it made me realize that it made me realize, number one, I've danced around this, but I'm just going to be, I'm really dealing with the fact that I have a phone addiction and I fucking don't like it. And I have one. And I just have to fucking be like, yeah, I don't like how much I use social media. I don't like how much I'm on my fucking phone. I don't like that when I have a free second, I pull it out. I don't like, and I know where it comes from. Anxiety is thinking about what ifs, about why everything should be perfect or better, or thinking about the future, the past. And so what happens is you're never present. You're not present with yourself. You're not present with the people around you. And when I'm not present, when I'm like that, I don't know how to be present. If I'm trying to be present with another human being, I take my phone out. And I'm like, Mike, what do you, like, you're like, I was with my cousin's kid and like he's hanging out with me. He doesn't have a phone. And I pull my fucking phone out. And I'm like, there's another human being here with you, interacting with you. You fucking asshole. What example are you setting for him? And I was like, and it hit me. Like it really fucking hit me once I like had to break away from it. It's disruptions. It's like how COVID made a lot of things evident to people. Like when you're in the rat race and all this fucking shit, you kind of you don't get time to notice your problems. And I feel like life is just kind of this thing where we always go, I'm busy, I'm so busy, I'm so busy, I'm so tired, I'm so busy. Well, I got to take the kids next weekend, where everyone I talk to with kids has got calendars made up like I do as a comedian. Well, I got shows on this weekend. Oh, well, I got to take the kids that weekend. Oh, well, we're visiting the in-laws this weekend. Oh, well, I'm traveling to Sheboygan that fucking weekend. And I got to work 5 days this week. And, well, because I always work 5 days a week. And then I got to work that day. And I'm working second shift. My car broke. And, man, I got to fix the fucking siding in the house. And then you got to, and my mom died. And it just goes and goes and goes. And then you fucking die or you retire. And I'm like, oh, you gotta snap out of it, Mike. I think we all, like, whenever anyone wants to fix, you gotta fucking snap out of it. And I want to make what I'm about to say very ambiguous, but I recently just saw someone I know have a mental breakdown on social media, online. And it really fucking was awful. This person is let me say we've worked together, an acquaintance. If you by some chance know of what I'm referring to, shut the fuck up. Don't don't bring attention to it. Like I'm just using this as a jump off point. I don't want to, but I saw this person. And this isn't the first time I've seen this. Like, there are times how many times have you watched somebody getting progressively mentally worse online? I know I've gone through it. Where you can tell how someone's angry by their posts. You saw a lot of it during COVID. Like, you could tell people were mentally unwell by what they were posting. And through this person's, like, I was in someone's live and I didn't realize that they were going through, like, a really manic fucking mental breakdown. And then I started looking at their stories and I go, oh, this person's unwell. Like very unwell. Like really fucking unwell. Like scary unwell. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. And I was already going to do this podcast about mental health, but watching this made me go, oh, I have to do this like right now. Because I really felt for this person. I did. It fucked me up, man. Because I thought the same thing watching this person as I do at times when I walked through that junkie tent city in Boston, where I thought, there go I, but for the grace of God. I was like, that could be me. Dude, what if that was me? I'm like, is there days where where life has so much on me and I think, I can't do it. I can't. I don't got it, man. I'm throwing in the fucking. I've had those days where I'm like, I'm fucking done. I'm walking around. I go, I'm gonna throw in the fucking towel. I can't do it. And I go, I'm like, maybe my brain's just gonna collapse and go crazy. And sometimes you go, but at the same time you go, you look at the world and you go, the world's fucking crazy. And you go, how is no one else noticing that this world I'm in is fucking nuts? It's because it's not just me. Because I'm watching how the world is making other people nuts. So we all know this fucking thing is nuts. Right? Right? Because like telling you, dude, watching those autistic people date was more, it was funny, but it was more normal than watching, like I've watched, dating app dates with fucking yuppies in the city, and it's fucking weird. I can tell you, I've been on them, and they're and I'm like, some of them, I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, this whole thing is weird and doesn't make sense, and it's illogical, and it's fucking crazy. And sometimes you go, and I've realized that I have to be easier on myself, and I think we should all be easier on ourselves for when you get mentally fucked up. Dude, I had to take like 2 days to get my shit right through meditation and just thinking and analyzing my mental state. And I was really fucking hard on myself. When this happens, I literally rip myself a new one, because I just go, you wasted a fucking day you could have been working. You could have been working on one of your many projects that you have, Mike. You could have been editing one of your hundreds of videos, but you didn't. You had to take time because you weren't feeling right in your fucking head. And I had to be like, dude, hey, dickhead Mike, how about you lay off regular Mike? Because guess what? It's okay to be unwell. It's okay to be depressed and fucked up and anxious, because I think almost everyone is. And it takes time to fucking fix that shit, dude. It's like if you get the flu, take a couple days off, man, to recuperate. It's okay. It's okay to need time to get better. So if your mind is unwell, if your mind has the flu because you're depressed or anxious or fucked up, give yourself a couple days. It's okay to be like, oh, dude, I need to take a break from some shit, from life, from the world, from my phone, from my computer, from whatever. Just fucking unplug. That's not only okay, I think it's necessary and needed. I wish we could normalize taking some time every month to just get your shit right, to chill. And when I say taking some time, I don't mean a weekend where after working 5 days a week, you then spend your weekend ferrying your kids around and working on your property, where you finally get some time off, and your weekend, your time off, is to do more work. I've really come to understand my dad in a lot of ways, where I go, shit. Like you worked your balls off, and then when you had some time off, you had to what was I looking for? You had to fucking do more work. So instead of like ever taking time to get your shit right, what do? You get addicted to your phone, you drink, you do drugs. Because the longer you go without fixed with dealing it gets so much worse. And I know we're not all of us, because right now someone's normally going, I'm not fucked up, not everyone, but clearly there's something going on with our society based on the fact that like all these fucking shootings. I'm gonna gloss over it. I was gonna do a longer podcast about it, but I'll just gloss over it to a degree. But the first school shooting wasn't until 1966, and it wasn't like up until that point, like a teacher had like shot some other teachers because he got fired, but it wasn't like the rage shooting of I'm just gonna get the world. That really, like the first official one was 90, it was 66, but it didn't really. It became a thing with Columbine in the 90s. That's when shooting up a mall, shooting up a school, shooting up a movie theater started, and it's gotten progressively worse. Here's the thing. Guns are harder to get now than they were 100 years ago. 100 years ago, you could walk into a store, buy a Thompson submachine gun, a fully automatic weapon of war that the U.S. military used. You could buy one. All right? You've seen them in the old gangster films, a Tommy gun. All right? You get the full fucking, the circular drum. Not even those little slim ones like they used in World War II. And no one was killing their neighbors. No one was taking Tommy guns and massacring people at July 4th parades or in movies or at plays or anywhere. It just wasn't happening. The only reason they took those, you couldn't stop buying those because gangsters started killing each other with them. And in the 30s. But so clearly, we've had access to these weapons, even heavier weapons, and no one did anything with them. It's now harder than, and back then you didn't even need a license. There was no background check. You went, you walked in, you go, I'm an American, I'm buying a machine gun. And the guy was like, okay. Now, there are more restrictions than they've ever been. It is not that easy to get a gun. But somehow, for some reason, it's because the issue isn't guns, it's mental health. And we don't address it. Everyone who's, how many, I just was thinking, you go on dating apps, they've got all these sections for everything. For, are you vaccinated? What are your politics? What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this? Do you like pineapple on pizza? Blah, 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 blah. There is no section on there for what medications are you on. In a society where a third of all women, I'm not sure how more women than men, a third of all adult women are on a form of psychoactive medication. Men are, it's a lot of men are too. It's not as much as women, but it's a lot. An enormous amount of our society is on psychoactive medications just to get through the day, antidepressants. And that's not something we openly discuss. That we literally are feeding factory-made pills to people just so that they can keep going on with whatever it is that we're fucking doing. Right? So clearly something is rotten in our society. And get rid of guns. Let's say you get rid of them tomorrow. You have in no way addressed the problem. Not even remotely. It's like if you had internal bleeding and you put a Band-Aid over the bruise. That's what taking away guns is going to do. The bleeding is still going to keep going, and it's going to keep going until it fucking kills you. So, for the love of fucking God, if you're going through some shit, dude, it's fine. Like I went through it these past couple of days, and I had to delete Facebook off my phone. I deleted Twitter off my phone. I'm deleting other stuff off my phone. Right? I'm so relieved like now to be going through deleting dating apps off my phone. All these, I'm telling you, man, that little red fucking dot, I had to turn off notifications because something about seeing, I have an iPhone, and when I see an app and it has that little fucking red dot, I feel compelled to touch it. Except for my mail. I got 2,000 pieces of mail. And these guys who made these phones know what they're doing. They know that, like, I'm bothered by, I know it makes me less happy. I know it makes me less present. And I know whenever I have anxiety, like I've been booking hotels and I'm dealing with a lot of problems. And I'm overly anxious. Especially because I get overly anxious when I have someone else. When it's me alone, I just don't fucking care as much. But when I'm with someone else, and I guess it's a lesson. Guys, here's a lesson I'm fucking reminding myself. Don't continually go back to your woman when you're planning stuff out to ask her. Don't be like, hey, what do you want to eat tonight? Hey, do you like this hotel? Hey, do you like that hotel? Hey, do you just go, hey, we're eating steak tonight. and we're going to this town and we're staying at this hotel. It's very much like, dude, when I started my job, my union job, I remember people saying, do something even if it's wrong. And I thought it was the dumbest thing ever. And now I get it. It just shows its decisiveness. Even if she throws a fit and you gotta fucking just figure out a new reservation, do something even if it's wrong. You know, and if she fights, be like, whatever, deal with it. But like, unless like there's something she desperately needs, like I found out that I can't book a place because her car literally has a underhang of 3 centimeters. So if we are not on pavement and there's a rock, it'll fuck her shit up. So I can't book the place on a dirt road, even if it's a fucking gorgeous place. You know, it is what it is, but you just got to book something, even if it's wrong. Do something, even make a decision. Just like they want you to do it, and a lot of times they'll go with it, even if it is wrong. If she really breaks your balls for it, tell her to go fuck herself. I'm gonna fit these next things in, but it's okay to not be okay, and I'm telling myself this as much as I'm telling any of you guys, because like I went through this detox. Like I know I'm saying it again, but it really kind of like blew me away that I felt mentally unwell, and I was getting the headaches even, and my girl was like, you're grumpy. And I go, just let me get through my fucking grumpy. And I go, hey, can you come over here and let me play with your ass? And she goes, what? And I go, just fucking let me play with your jiggly ass. Let me play with your wiggly booty. And she's like, oh, and I just go, lay down. And I laid my head in her ass and I cuddled her and I was fine in like 5 minutes. And I go, thank you. Was that so hard? Dude, speaking of shows that I've been watching, and I'm going to fit this kind of into the mental health thing. I watched this documentary on Netflix, and it was about, it's about the fundamentalist Latter-day Saints, the FLDS, which is it's a Mormon offshoot of the Mormon Church that believes in polygamy, and it's fucking gross. They're a cult. It's called Be Sweet and Obey. It's on Netflix. Just came out a month ago. It's a 4-part series. You can watch it in one sitting. It's about this fucking Mormon cult. There's about 8,000 to 10,000 people. There's a guy who is considered the prophet. They think he speaks directly to God. Thankfully, he's in jail. I'm spoiler alert. He's fucking. You'll be happy to know. And like they're marrying off fucking 14-year-old girls to other guys, right? Just horrible. Like they're underage teenage marriages. Like the guys at the top of the church have 60 wives, 40 fucking wives. They literally just give each wife like 11 kids. But here's the thing. I don't know what they're putting in the water, but these fucking Mormon bitches are sturdy. These bitches are popping out like 16 fucking kids, and they're just fine. I'm like, what is that what happens when you don't eat fucking high fructose corn syrup? Like I watch a Brooklyn hippie woman have one baby and she's like, my fucking vagina's broken. These broads are just fucking pumping them out. Like if you have 11 kids, they're like, yep, old Sally didn't really fulfill her womanly duties. These are some sturdy bitches. But anyway, it's fucked up. Like you realize that so the rule is to get to the super top tier of heaven, you need a minimum of 3 wives. In order to get 3 wives, and it becomes this thing where you marry off, like they're arranged by the prophet. You marry off. If you're good, you get more wives, and they marry off someone else's daughters to you, and you get a girl. Here's your new wife, and she's fucking 20 years younger than you, and everyone gives their money to the church, just like a fucking cult, because it's a cult. And I was thinking, man, like after my last episode, I know I made a lot of jokes about abortion and the Handmaid's Tale. Why aren't women just using this? This is a real world reference point of women who have 0 rights, like none. Like I feel horrible for these women, and then here's the thing: when a lot of the boys they kick out once they're teenage, because you can't have a situation where everyone has multiple wives and practice polygamy without throwing the boys out of the group. So you got to throw them out. So as teenagers, they just kick and that's when it dawned on me how this I'm like, why won't this change? And then I think this is the worst form of toxic masculinity I've ever seen. I joke about that because I've been called toxically masculine. I don't think I'm toxically masculine at all. I love women. I think a man has a job to a woman. All right? But this is an absolute abject failure of fucking manhood because the fathers of these kids allow it to fucking happen. The fathers allow their fucking 14-year-old daughters be married off to other 60-year-old men. They let it happen. They let the prophet marry their fucking daughters. They just, their children are barely even children. I don't know if it's because they have fucking 80 of them, so they don't matter as much to you. But these guys allow their sons to be kicked out of the church and to be thrown out in the streets, homeless, and they're cut off from the world. So they're literally like, hey, 16-year-old kid, you don't know what a fucking phone, you don't know what an iPhone is. You know what you know what Facebook is. Now guess what? You're homeless in fucking Salt Lake City. Have fun. And you're like, what the fuck? They allow their sons to be thrown away. And they're willing to pimp out their own fucking daughters so they can get someone else's daughter. I've never seen such a complete degradation of manhood in my entire fucking life. Such a complete beta male absence of fucking manhood in my entire... It is the most toxic display of manhood I've ever fucking seen in my entire life. That these men fail their wives. That they allow their kids to be given away. And they fail their fucking daughters. And their failures as husbands, as fathers, as men. To everyone around them and to themselves. And I think it is the greatest example of what toxic masculinity really is. That's what happens. That toxic masculinity isn't me. It's that guy who on fucking Twitter who says feminist fucking shit. That's the dude who's gonna have you wrapped up in your fucking goofy outfit in a fucking Latter-day Saints FLDS cult or a fucking handmaiden cult. It's that fucking herb. It's that guy who you think is your fucking friend. Because dudes like me don't actually want it anywhere near that. Because that society is a society out of balance. All I do on this show is talk about balance and energy. Masculine, feminine energy, yin and yang. They have no feminine energy in their society. None. At all. They have broken the women completely. Their roles are non, so there is no feminine energy in their society. There is no empathy in their fucking society. That just as I say, if you have too much feminine energy in a society, you get wrecked by becoming woke and weak. This is the alternative of that. A society in which even the male energy is fucked. There is no feminine energy in any way in that fucking society. It's demonic. Demonic to the core. And the reason I brought this up is because it just drove me nuts. I had to fucking say that. I had to explain that. That's what I think real toxic masculinity is. And that is, what a real world Handmaid's Tale would be. All right? And so when someone says this is what everyone on the right wants, it's not. It's not. And I don't. The vast majority of people who just want a more stabilized, away from woke society, do not want what the FLDS has. Anything remotely like that. And one of the things that kept coming up is why don't people leave? Why don't people just leave? And it kept coming. Why didn't the girls just leave? Now, obviously, the security is not that simple, but some of them did escape, and they came back. But why don't people just escape? Find a way, call the police, get out. And it's because they're terrified of the outside world. Terrified. Because when they leave, they are so alone. They don't know what Saturday Night Live is. They don't know what fucking K-pop is. They don't know what a meme is. They're in a world where it's a different planet, a different country. They don't fucking know. They have no fucking idea. None. Okay? And it's terrifying. And to leave behind your family and your friends and to just go off into a culture that makes no sense to you. And I realized how frightening that is. And that what that is it's a metaphor. I felt like it was like a large-scale metaphor for how many times I've talked with people who want to leave the place they're in. Like even me, there are times where I'm like, I want to move to a new country, but I'm terrified. I'm fucking scared. Because I'm like, how do I learn a new language? My family won't be there, my friends won't be there, I'll be so fucking alone. It's alien to me, I'll never survive. But, if this fucking girl who's horribly been, pimped out can survive, she's got more fucking balls than I do. I can fucking, and she's going through a greater leap than I am. And it reminds me of other times where I've talked with so many people about the rat race, and they go, I just want to get out of the rat race. Or I want to get out of the city. I want to get out of the rat race. I want to get out of the city. But they don't. And I remember talking with a friend of mine, and I go, hey, we were up in New Hampshire in the country, and he goes, I love it up here, man. I go, why don't you move up here? Your kid's grown, what do you... And he's like a handyman, painter, and all that stuff. And I go, dude, the whole industry here is just building houses. You can paint houses. I go, dude, they're a killing for work. And I introduced him to someone. I go, hey, would he find work? And he goes, yeah, tons of work. And I go, dude, why don't you move up here? And he goes, dude, I know I could get work. He goes, I know. So, and he goes, because I'm fucking scared. And I was like, fuck. And I'm like, these are people, he grew up in the same neighborhood as me. And I'm like, wow. It's crazy to think that, as I said earlier, a lot of us feel like there's something wrong with the environments that we're in. And it's destroying us and wrecking us. But we don't leave. And for every person who got out of that cult, there was so many more who stayed in. And ones who knew there was something wrong, but shoved it deep down inside. How many times do you look at your job, your life, and you go, this ain't right. This fucking ain't right. The way this shit works, whatever this is, this system, it ain't fucking right. I don't want to do it anymore. But then you look at I've talked with so many people, whether I was girls on dating apps or just people in life or listening to other people, podcasts, who said, I just want to go off the grid, have some chickens, and, just live a quiet life, just off the grid with my little cabin and plants, and I'll grow my own food. I don't need much money. I've heard so many people say that. But here's the thing. You can do that. That's not an unattainable goal. Why don't we do it, though? It's the fear. It's the fear of getting out of whatever it is. Your group, your cult, your city, your fucking nation. You're getting out of a thing, a way of life, a culture, and the outside is so lonely and so scary, and you're going against the tribe. And to be a human and to be without a tribe is a terrifying thing. But here's the thing. You can find a new tribe or you can make your own. But as someone who's, it's lonely, dude. It's tough. Dude, for the first time, I crossed a huge point in my abilities to speak another language. I never thought I could do it. It never seemed attainable to me. The idea of Mike Bain being able to speak another language I was like, it'll never happen. I've been putting in the fucking work, dude. But I finally understood certain words and phrases to the point where I got over a little hump where I can walk into a restaurant and not have a freak out, where I can have an interaction with a person and not have a panic attack, and I can go, hey, I want this, or I can string together words and phrases. Oh, I'm going here. I want to do this. Do you have this? What time is that? Oh, hey, can we do this now? Can I? May I? Have I? Do you want? Do you like? And oh, wow. And I don't know, man, I guess I'm turning this into the mental health thing, because I see a lot of people, whether they be people that are losing their mind online, or you're so addicted to with you're a junkie in the gutter, and you go, this system doesn't work for me. This society, whether I'm working in a gentrified neighborhood in Boston and I'm unhappy, or I'm in a fucking polygamous cult, it's not working for me. I don't feel like it's working. And I can either keep being here in something that I'm telling myself is wrong. I don't like this society. I don't like this way, where I can get out or find a way to at least partially get out. And I guess that's my encouragement. If you're like, hey, dude, I just want to leave the city and move to Maine, do it. If you're perfectly happy with where you're at and the system makes sense for you, that's great too. You don't. Not everyone has to be like, oh, the world I'm in is fucked up. For a lot of people, it isn't, and that's great. You know, we're all different. But if you do go, hey, man, I'm not happy with my dating these bitches. It ain't working. You know, it's a way out, man. I also, I keep seeing this. I guess I'm wrapping up. I wanted to address this. I know I've been all over the place with this podcast. I saw this. Yeah, I know you guys can hear that fucking music in the background. Someone's partying downstairs. I saw this. I'm not going to be able to cut it out either, so sorry. I keep seeing this, okay? So here's some like relationship shit, some life shit. I keep seeing guys post stuff online whenever, and whenever like it's a dating thing and women don't respect men, they write, only men can't be loved unconditionally. We're only loved under the condition that we provide something. I see men write it all the time. I see it in the comments. I see it posted so often. All the time I see it posted. And here's my fucking words to you, fellas, if you're thinking that. Tough fucking shit. Like, for real, that's the fucking game, man. That's the game. That's the fucking game. Like, as a man, that's how it works. You're there to provide something. It's just the way the universe works, man. How many times in this podcast have I told women that's just how the universe works? Now I'm telling guys, that's how it fucking works, dude. It is how it fucking works. Unconditional love is bullshit. The only person in your life that will ever love you unconditionally is your mother, and that's it. Fuck, man. If my daughter brought home someone I didn't like, I could be like, fuck you, I'm not talking to you anymore. I can say that, depending on how bad he was, but like, you know, I'd be like, yeah, no, not a fucking chance. I'll fucking not talk to you for the rest of your life if you want to marry this scumbag. I would do that as a parent. And I'd be like, well, I'm doing it fucking, oh, who knows? But I don't have kids, but I probably would. Yeah, I fucking, because that's how men are. That's why the only one who can ever unconditionally love you is your mother. And even then, they don't always unconditionally love you. Unconditional love isn't something to fucking champion. Unconditional love is hey, you're a woman in a cult and your dad fucking sent you at 12 to go marry another guy who fucking raped you. And you love both your new rapist husband and that guy. That's fucking unconditional love. Unconditional love means I love you no matter what fucked up fucking shit you do to me. Unconditional love, your wife doesn't owe you unconditional love, and you don't owe her unconditional love. Unconditional love is you coming home and finding your wife that you love getting gang fucked by your father, your brother, your cousins, your co-workers, the cleaning guys, the fucking plumber. The whole village is having a run on your fucking broad. And unconditional love is you going, well, I still love you, Susan. That's unconditional love. Would you still love that bitch? No, you fucking wouldn't. So stop demanding unconditional love. It's nonsense. You never unconditionally love a spouse, because a spouse is not family. A spouse can be gone. Do you understand that? A spouse is someone you choose. You don't choose your family. So unconditional love, with you as a man don't get unconditional love. Now, it's one thing if, you're dating a girl and you lose your job at the fucking plant. And you're like, fuck. And then she's a cunt about it and she doesn't support you. All right, well, fuck her. It's another if you're just being a bum and you won't provide for your family and kids. And what I think men really mean by this is their complaint about unconditional love is that they feel unappreciated. I feel it as an adult male now. I see it in my father. How badly men just want to be appreciated. We appreciate the fucking balls out of women. We literally, Valentine's Day is for you. Mother's Day is for you. Right? We have an entire card and flower industry just for you. Diamonds are for you. We're always telling you how great you are. You're amazing. You're the best. Oh my God. We're just fucking on our knees groveling while you squirt fucking titty milk in our face. You're the best. No one gives a fuck about dads. And I get that women want this too. A lot of women feel underappreciated because your husband comes home and he doesn't appreciate that you just worked all day and you cooked supper. And you deserve to be appreciated. But men, we don't know how to even ask for it. My dad, looking at him now as an adult, worked his balls off, maintained a house, and, didn't know how to say, I want love and appreciation. Would always tell us, get stuff for your mother. I don't want shit. I don't ever want anything. Nothing for me for Father's Day or my birthday. But you go out of your way for your mom. And I remember doing the same thing. I remember telling my girlfriend, and I go, for my birthday, I don't want a birthday cake. And she goes, yeah? And I go, yep. And then I just figured she would get me one, and she didn't. And I got upset like a little fucking bitch. Like a bitch. I was like, what am I, a fucking broad? I was like, you didn't get me a cake? And she goes, you said you didn't want one. And I go, I did. But because I was that afraid to say, I want to be appreciated. But how many times have you as a guy done something? You make sure that they don't come home and say, hey, dad, hey, husband, hey, boyfriend, thank you so much for my house being warm. Thank you so much for working 60 hours this week with a 4-hour commute each day so that I can not fucking freeze to death. Thank you so much for me having lights in my house. Thank you. Thank you for me having fucking electricity and having a microwave and a fridge. Thank you. Thank you, Dad. No one thanks you. No one ever thanks that guy. No one ever says, thank you, Dad. Thank you, husband, for the fact that there's a roof over my fucking head. How many times as men we plan our trips? How many times have you had someone go, hey, your wife and your kids, your girl, whatever, and they go, hey, thank you. And you go, what? And they go, thank you for, you planned out an amazing trip and you brought us all along. You logistically took care of everything. You got our tickets, you got our hotel, you got our Airbnb. You brought us to our restaurant. Thank you thank you. We love and appreciate you. And so if you, for ladies, if I have my lady listeners, can you fucking do that for the guy in your life? And guys, if your woman, if your woman does, let your woman know too. They gotta know. But guys really gotta fucking know because they don't ever hear it. But let your woman know too. And hey, let your dad know. Let your mom know. Be like, hey, fucking thank you. Thank you. Do it, man. I promise it'll make you feel better and make them feel better. Because when a guy writes, oh, we don't get unconditional love, he just goes, I want to be appreciated. I just want someone to say thank you. And then I keep hearing out of women, what are we supposed to thank men for doing the bare minimum? What are we supposed to thank men for doing the bare minimum? Blah, 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 blah. Shut up. Yes, you fucking cunt. Yes. Because for every fucking guy, you know how hard it is to do the bare minimum in this fucking life? For every guy that's doing the bare minimum, there's 3 that aren't. For every guy who works his balls off to take care of his family in a worsening world, worsening economy, there's a guy who just fucking left. Okay? Oh, well, men are supposed to. Shut up. You know what most important thing I learned in therapy? I went to my fucking gay therapist, Glenn, and I said, hey, Glenn, blah, blah, blah. I'm miserable. My dad's killing himself. What do I, I don't feel loved. I get all these issues, and I go, I see these people with good families, with loving, caring fucking families. I'm so jealous. And my dad is supposed to, and my therapist stops me. He goes, don't use that word. And I go, what? Don't use the word supposed to. I go, well, why? And he goes, well, Mike, are there fathers and dads that are alcoholics? I go, yeah. He goes, how many do you think there are in the world? I go, fucking millions. He goes, are there dads and fathers who abandon their kids? And I go, well, yeah. And he goes, well, all right. Dads and fathers who beat their kids and wives. And I go, millions of them too. And he goes, all right. So those are all dads and fathers. And I go, yes. And there's billions of them. And I go, yes. And he goes, so how can this version of a dad just be what a dad is supposed to be, when clearly a dad can be anything? A dad can be an abuser. So you keep using that word, Mike, supposed to be. The world isn't supposed to be any which way. It would be nice if it was. And it would be good if your father or your husband was good. Doesn't mean you forgive him. Doesn't mean you let him off the hook. But if you keep saying things like it's supposed to be, it garners up this idea that the bad part isn't just as real as the good, that the bad dads are not dads, that it's all dads. And that if you have a dad or a husband a boyfriend who does the bare fucking minimum, what does he do? And but they always say the bare minimum. Like does he put a roof over your head? Yes. Is he good with you and the kids? Yes. Does he work? Yes. Fucking say thank you. Can we be better? Yeah. Yeah, we fucking can. But it also goes out to you fellas, you're not owed that. And I'll say this, when a man takes on a mate and offspring, in a natural sense, we are never freer than we are single. Like a woman will never understand the freedom you have as a single man. You are free to roam the world. And if a predator comes along, if a tiger comes along, you can just run. But when you got a fucking pregnant wife and kids, your chance of death as a man, in a caveman natural state, it goes up astronomically. That's why men have a tendency to abandon their families. Because you are taking on, like, especially God forbid your wife is fat, your kid is like fucking crippled. You're like, oh Jesus, we are definitely getting eaten by a fucking saber-toothed cat. Like that's what you take on. As a man, you fucking take that on. That's why we're afraid of commitment. Because there's something beautiful about commitment. Because we pass on our genes. It's what we want to do. But you also, as a man, when you settle down, you no longer have nothing to lose. You can't go out and fight any guy in the street. Because God forbid you get fucked up and break a leg, you might miss work. You can miss work as a 22-year-old dude. Can't miss work as a 45-year-old guy. And you work construction, you got a wife and kids, and you got bills due every week. It's different. That's where that instinctively comes from. So when a guy is there, this is gonna sound fucked up, but every fucking day, when a man leaves work and he drives home, he has this thing where he goes, I could just drive to the other side of the country. I could drive to the airport and hop on a plane and just fucking leave. And I could go sit on a fucking beach and be happy. And you know what he does? He goes, I can go fuck that broad in accounting. Take it to fucking Tahiti and just live the rest of my life as a happy guy. You know what he fucking does? He goes home. And I know you don't want to hear that, ladies, but you need to fucking hear it. And every guy goes through this. And he goes the fuck home. Walks in his house. His kids don't say thank you for the electricity and the heat and the food in the fridge. His wife goes, it took you a while to get home. Well, maybe she is appreciative. I don't know. But a lot of time, he comes home and his wife won't even suck his fucking dick. He can't even get pussy in his own fucking house that he paid for. And he does it for you guys. not for him. He does it for you. And he comes home and he sucks it the fuck up. So that's what every fucking Father's Day card should say. Thanks for coming home, Dad. Anyway, the fellas, if you want conditional love, shut the fuck up and man up. That's our job. Our job is to be providers. Now, I understand why it's harder now because we don't make what we used to. Women are more often, every guy I know is in a job where a woman makes more money. Women are working white collar jobs. They get these amazing, not all of them, some women do work, some women are nurses and they're fucking playing with fucking piss sticks, they're fucking working their cunts off. But there's a lot of white collar women out there and they're white yuppie women who sit around making TikToks about how they fucking drink organic water and work as a vibe. And you make a quarter of what she makes. Maybe you make a half of what she makes. Either way, it's tough because your provider status is fucked up. So here's what you got to do. You got to be the emotional focal point, spiritual, emotional, loving provider. You have to provide a basis of structure for when the world fucks them up like it fucks us up, that we can, when we, I think this martial artist said it, I might have said this in the last podcast, fuck me if I did. I fall off my path. But I get up so quickly you don't notice. That's what you're going to do as a man, is you get up. And you know how it's raining out there. You walk inside and you tell the wife and kids we're going to get fucking through it. And you make them fucking believe it. All right? Just like the president is supposed to do. Why do you think everyone's fucking... Regardless of your politics, when you look at Biden, you go, I don't feel safe. And I'm supposed to have a patriarchal figure there to make me feel safe. As much as you fucking hated Trump, there was something about him that was like, well, he's going to do it. Do something even if it's wrong. That's what that meant. That's why so many people are like, dude, I wish I had Trump. Because really, that's what it is. That's what a paternal figure comes down to. So I was going to say this about getting out of the rat race and working for shit. Also, you as the man, it's your right to decide how much your wife and kids need. It's your right to decide that we don't need a new boat. That you don't, hey, we want motorbikes for the kids. No, they don't need them. Oh, Timmy needs a new baseball mitt. No, he will take mine from when I was a kid and he'll fucking like it. Well, we need to go out camping with the Joneses because they go to this very expensive camp. No, we're not. I'm not working for that. I'm going to spend time with my fucking kids. But we need a new extension in the house. No, we don't. I will set the line of what's provided as the provider, not you. Not what a consumer society tells you. I will make that fucking decision, and you will fucking like it. Hardy har fucking har. Anyway, I know I've been talking about mental health and getting out. So remember what I said about taking time off for a month? Maybe use a vacation day or personal day. Just if you can, just take a time and go. Just get out. Rent a little Airbnb. Do something. Even by yourself, man. Go do mushrooms in the woods. And think about shit. Because the more I talk about people getting out of the rat race, or if you don't like what you're in, if you don't like your family life, you don't like your job, you don't like the place you live, you don't like the environment or the culture you're in, leave. I know it's scary. But also it's okay for it to fuck you up. Like if you're in an environment and it's fucked up, and you're like, hey, I feel a little weird here. There's constant fucking mass shootings and a permanent state of anxiety, and I feel like I never have enough money no matter how much I fucking work. A lot of it's because it's made that way, man. That's the system doing what the system is supposed to do. I'm using the word supposed. That's the system doing what it was designed to do. It was designed to be fucked up and to make you feel fucked up so that you are now addicted to your phone. Okay? They're the drug dealer that gave you a drug that they knew would make your teeth fall out, and then he also sells dentures. That's the game, man. That's the fucking game. I was just reading something, reading a book about religions, I'm also reading a book about the history of debt. That book talks about a great book to read, Religions of Man. Other great book to read, Debt, the First 5,000 Years. I really should start telling you guys about the fucking books I read. I know I mentioned them, but I should tell you so you can read them. Debt, First 5,000 Years, amazing. Explains how the World Economic Forum, WEF, and the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, are fucking gangster, bloodthirsty, colonial, imperialist organizations who slaughter and kill people and have created a horrible financial system which only works when people are hurting. Anyway, in the book, there's missionary. Christian missionary meets it's an old Polynesian saying. He meets like a Polynesian chilling on a beach. And the guy has some talent. He can make like baskets and shit. And the missionary says to him, why? He goes, why don't you work? And the guy goes, what? And he goes, you're a fucking bum. All you do is sit on this beach all day, drinking coconuts, hanging out with your friends, and relaxing in the sun. You're a fucking bum. You need to work. I know sometimes you make baskets and you sell baskets and trade baskets and bags. You need to be more entrepreneurial. You need to step it up. You be doing that 8 hours a day. You need to fucking work and hustle. You need to be hustling. And the guy goes, why? He says to the missionary, why would I do that? And he goes, for the work ethic, so you can expand your business. And then you can make more baskets and more bags and more money. And the guy's like, why would I do that? What do I need this money for? Why do I keep... So you can buy more things. You can get... He's like, but I already have my things. I already have my coconuts. He goes, no, but if you keep getting more money, if you get more money, you get to keep working. You can build this business and you work around the clock. And the guy goes, well, what do I need that? Why do I need to do that? He goes, well, because eventually, if you work really hard and put in decades of your life, and you make enough money, you can then have enough money to retire and sit on the beach in the sun drinking coconuts all day. Which is what the man was doing in the first place to begin with. My little thing to you, I've had so many times where I go, oh, if I just have, I keep setting roadblocks for why I don't do things in life. If I just have this little more, I'll do this little, at this point, I will go and do this thing. Those roadblocks that keep you from doing what you're doing. If you want to go live in the woods, you can go live in the woods right now. Okay, just fucking do it. There isn't a set amount of money that's going to fully set you free. There isn't a thing. You just got to do it. And my whole life, do you know what I want? I'll be very honest with you guys. My dream was just have enough money that I don't have to worry about money. And I was like, and I had this epiphany the other day where I was like, Mike, what if you just don't worry about money? I was like, oh, you're not going to learn to not worry about money by worrying about money. I go, you want this relief that you got while you did ayahuasca, which was to just go, it's going to be okay. You want to believe that eventually one day you'll have enough money that you'll wake up and go, everything is okay no matter what. And you will never get that. You won't, I'm not going to have that. All right? I think after a certain amount of money, you do get a little relief. You go, oh, all right, I can eat better food. But I like that guy I met who had 3 houses and 2 boats and 2 jet skis and 2 cars who was still worried about money. He's still fucked up about it. Rich people are still fucked up about it. And I realized I'm the guy on the beach. And I'm telling myself that if I keep fucking doing this or that I don't want to do, I'll eventually get to do the thing that I could literally do right fucking now. And that's what I realized with traveling. Because I kept saying eventually I'll travel when I get rich. Just do it now, man. Eventually I'll do this when I get this. Nope. The thing I'm working for, I usually already have the ability to do or could do. Also reminded me of that show, the Mormons. They used to fucking use the boys for free labor. They never paid them. That's why they beat out the illegal immigrants in Utah, because it's the Mormon construction companies, because they don't fucking pay the kids. Jesus fucking Christ. Anywho, fucking, this goes to show you those kids knew they could just be like, and in the cult they used to say, It's such a Protestant thing. Work is good for the sake of work. You should like to work. Meanwhile, the prophet was taking all their money and going to Disney World and New Orleans and having orgies with his 30 wives, doing drugs. Don't be the little Mormon kid if you don't want to be. Do the work you want to do. Anyway, it's okay to not be okay. Take some fucking time. And fucking meditate and pray and get in your own head and be like, dude, am I addicted to something that's not good for me? Am I doing something that's not good for me? Do I need help? Ask for help. Ask for fucking help. Like dude, it was so hard for me to I was being grumpy around my girl because I didn't want to fucking ask for help. I didn't want to fucking ask for help because I was afraid she was going to think I was weak. So so it was easier for me to show anger. You know? That's what it fucking was. That's what it fucking was. And then she's been calling me out on my grumpy shit. And the reason I often say this shit on this podcast, dude, is because by saying it, I have to live it. And I have to, by putting it out there and you guys hearing it, I'm accountable for it. Now I gotta fucking go to her and be like, hey, I was going through some shit and I didn't want to ask for your help. I didn't want to ask for your fucking help because I was afraid. I was afraid you see me being weak. It's okay. It's okay to not be okay. It is okay to have moments of weakness. Just make sure that the person in your life that you asked to help isn't going to humiliate you, because I know she wouldn't. It's not on her. It's on me. It's my shit. It's my bullshit. So ask for help. Take time to get better. I hope all of you can stay mentally healthy. It's hot out there. It's really fucking hot out there. Not enough people say it. In a world where so many people are going to take pills just to wake up in the morning and not fucking jump off a bridge. Or where people are actively jumping off bridges and shooting dope and under train tracks or shooting up schools. The fact that you're doing the bare minimum, good for you. If no one's told you motherfuckers today, I appreciate what you do. And if you wake up and you got your bills paid and you're being right to your woman or your mother or your father or your brothers and sisters or your kids, you're a good fucking dude. You're a good fucking gal. And I appreciate you. And you should appreciate you. Make sure that you appreciate you and make sure that you got your back. All right? Make fucking sure. All right? Make sure that you appreciate you and make sure that you give yourselves kudos. No one ever stops to say, dude, you got a new car. You got your own car. Good for you. Maybe it's not nice. Who gives a fuck? But you got a car. You got a place to lay your head. You got heat. Maybe you don't have heat. You have electricity. But you got it. You fucking, it's there because of you. Because you made it happen. Not because someone fucking threw it in your lap, but because you fucking made it happen. You're taking your girl to a nice house for a weekend away. You're doing it, man. You're taking your kids to fucking, I don't know, to a mountain to watch a sunset. Because you can't afford Disneyland. So what? You're fucking doing it. You're doing it, man. You're doing it. You ain't that fucking dad who had the opportunity when he was coming home from work to drive to get on a different side of that highway and say, I'm done. You went home and you did your fucking duty. And you deserve fucking respect. And you deserve kudos. And you deserve respect, ladies, for having that food on the table when someone comes home. For being a mother, being a father, and being a person. And for getting up every day and going, I'm not going to fucking shoot my boss in the face. I'm going to go home. I'm going to lay down. I'm going to talk to my kids. I'm going to talk to my fucking wife about my feelings. I'm going to ask my husband. I'm going to tell my husband I love him. I'm going to do all that. So this podcast went on for way too long. Sorry, I tried to do 3 podcasts in one. Anyway, probably won't release one of these for a while. So have a good summer, man. Take care of yourselves. Put in the work. Guys, you don't deserve unconditional love. Don't be a pussy. I'm sorry. Man up, okay? But fucking do your job and you'll get the results. And if you're not getting the results you want, tell them. And if they still don't give you the results, fucking peace, dude. And if you want to get out of wherever you're at, do it. I'm telling you, watch that documentary. If those girls can get out, then we can get out. You get out of whatever shitty relationship you're in, shitty environment you're in. Get the fuck out. Be happy. It's okay to not be okay. Fucking take some time, reallocate. Sit down one day and go, hey, because you're going to need it. You're going to need 2-3 fucking days to get your shit right. You might need longer. As long as it fucking takes. All right? But happy July 4th. Happy fucking summer. Happy we're the people who do the bare minimum. Happy we're the people who get shit done. Happy we're the people who are there for people who love us. And we're good and we're kind and we don't fucking abuse. And happy we're not in a gutter shooting dope. And happy we're not jumping off a bridge. Happy fucking living. Peace out.